Welcome to Nokomis Lanes, where today we bring you high school bowling in the South Metro Conference. It's the Kennedy Eagles 6-0 in the conference. Washburn Millers 5-1. They've completed the first game already. Kennedy won that game 115-94. With me is Sam Riley, and I'm Tony Gear, the advisor for the Washburn squad. And Washburn starts the second game with a 1-pin count in the first frame by Stacy Fotopoulos. And I didn't get the roster for Kennedy. I knew I was missing something. Kennedy's first bowler gets a nice strike. Kennedy on the year is averaging 165.8, Washburn 141.4. Of course, our last television match, Washburn defeated Anoka, who finished in third place last year. That was a scrimmage match. They also defeated Coon Rapids. Both scores were 2-1. And then Coon Rapids went on to defeat Anoka in our third match by the same score of 2-1. Charles Hayslett gets a tough split. He was high in the pocket. Stacy picked up 7 of the remaining pins for a total of 8 for Washburn. Kennedy's second ball from the lefty. 3 count left, 7 total. And Charles missed his spare. Kennedy picks up their spare for a 20-pin count in the first, and they're up by a mark and a half. Can I have that folder back? Kennedy, Brooklyn 9 count. And Jay Miller with a nice strike to put Washburn with a markup. Did you get a chance to look at that tape I gave you?
Oh, it was wonderful. I was really impressed with the amount of talent amongst these young people in the camaraderie they've got here.
And Kennedy gets an open in the third frame. That'll help the Millers out. Millers with a 36, or 26 with a markup, and Kennedy with a 48. So Washburn needs to do some catching up here. And as soon as we get a Kennedy roster,
we're standing by waiting for that now. He's making one up first.
We don't need any of these just yet. And Corey Thomas gets a double for the Millers. What you're watching is Baker System bowling at the high school league level. And there's a roster of 8. Kennedy gets a strike. No, that was lane over for Holy Angels. Kennedy has yet to throw their fourth frame. It's a Baker System where you roster 8. You start 5, everyone bowls a particular frame, and you got 3 substitutes. There's a Brooklyn strike for Kennedy. And this has been going on for me for 6 years now.
Impressive.
Been involved with Washburn. We've been finishing at the bottom of the standings.
Very impressive.
Our first chance to finish on top.
Like I said, Tony, I'm very impressed with what I see here.
Kennedy's 5th frame bowler is up on lane 22.
Looks good, confident. I think it's going to work. Oh, it's a gutter.
Buries it into the gutter.
Gutter ball.
That's not so bad on a strike, but on a spare, that is devastating. And 5th frame for Washburn is Jeff Gilmore. He hits a 9 count.
Kennedy may be able to save it with the spare here, though, Tony. He's at it again.
These are proper frames? Thank you.
Takes his time.
Jason Barnes, I guess, is bowling for Kennedy. We just got the roster from the coach.
I think this one's going to work.
Gets a 7 count on the finish, but he pulled it in because he missed his mark last time. It ran out on him. So Kennedy now with a 72 after the 5th frame, and Washburn's Jeff Gilmore gets his spare. And the Millers have suddenly found themselves on top, trying to tie this match at 1-1. Best of 5. And like we opened up with, this is for the conference lead. Stacy Fotopoulos for Washburn. Brooklyn leaves a 5-pin. Washburn up by 12 now. 84-72 after the 5th frame, including all marks. Kennedy's Don Noblock is up.
Another one up.
Quick could get that camera to turn over
This could
just
be
a
the
little
spare
bit.
here.
Yeah.
This is the spare.
Stacy needed that for Washburn. If we get this camera to pan over just a little bit so we can see the approach on both the lanes instead of one. We'll see if Jason Barnes can pick up his spare.
I think not.
No. So Washburn with a 93 after the 6th frame, and Kennedy is with a 81. Still a 12-pin lead for the Millers. Oh, I'm sorry. Now it's an 81. I was looking at the wrong lane.
Outstanding on Washburn. Kennedy 93.
For Kennedy, Janelle Wood is up on lane 22.
It's very impressive here, Tony, the camaraderie amongst female and male gender. Everyone is having fun, and it's a relaxed sport. None of the aggression is necessary with other professional sports.
This is what you call your low-impact competition.
It's wonderful, but it does require a great ability and a lot amount of agility to deal with the game itself. And therefore, it needs to be looked at more as a sports event.
Charles Hayslett got a 4 count for the Millers. Janelle tries to pick up her spare, 7-pin.
And it's good.
Good cover for the Eagles, 81 plus, and the Millers. Charles picked up his.
Definitely hear the enthusiasm for Kennedy here.
Kennedy's got a lot of team spirit, unlike Jefferson, which we saw a few years ago in this league. You know, every time a mark or a very positive thing happened, you could hear a yell and a yell and a yell, and you knew who it was.
That's right.
Jay Miller for the Millers. Gets a 9 count. Next game, we'll let you call off the names.
Wonderful, thank you.
No problem. That was Tim Brown for the Kennedy Eagles on lane 21, left a 6 count. Jay Miller will attempt to pick up his spare for the Millers. 112 to 97, Millers on top. Miller picks up his. And Tim Brown. We don't have a lot of insight on the Kennedy Eagles for obvious reasons. We have a lot of insight for the Millers. And next gentleman up for the Millers is Corey Thomas. He'll be on lane 21. Over at Texatonka lanes during the Majors Traveling League, he averaged 200 a game.
Which is not bad. Not bad at all.
And that was an off day. For Kennedy, it's Brian Anderson. He was wide left, gets a 6 count. And for Corey, this is the house he normally bowls in. Gets an 8 count on a weak hit.
Definitely pumping it up for Corey. Let's see what happens here.
First of all, let's see if Brian can pick up his spare for the Eagles. Eagles need this to stay in this game and have a hope.
He can do it. Yes.
He hit it on the wrong side, but he still got it. Once again, the levels are peaking.
It's usually the pressure of when it's do or all, it gets done.
Well, here's our pressure bowler for the Millers. This is Jeff Gilmore up on 22. This is where he bowls Majors on Saturday mornings. He's our team captain. He's only a sophomore. Nice slow ball, proper delivery.
That's a strike.
And that's the game for the Millers. They'll win game 2. We'll get the final count for you in just a minute. Up on 21 is Jason Barnes for the Eagles.
Still standing by, waiting for that stat sheet on Kennedy.
Jason Barnes gets a 9 count. Yeah. Gilmore, this will be high. Brooklyn, it gets a 9 count. Millers with the potential of a 170 finish, and after throwing a 94, that's an impressive finish. The Kennedy Eagles finished this game with a 133, which is well below their average, so you know that they're going to throw a better game soon. Gilmore will miss his spare, and the Millers finish with a 169. We're tied at 1 game apiece. Best of 5 is now turned into best of 3. First place of the conference on the line. We'll be back in just 1 minute.
Where's top school?
Yeah, you got that right. And it's even tougher than you think.
Channel on got. Well, I have 4 years of English.
And I got trigonometry.
I've got chemistry and physics. I've had foreign language. And I've had social studies.
And we got it all.
They are prepared for college. Come on.
Just coming back, the Millers. Who was the first bowler? Stacy got a spare for the Millers, and for Kennedy, it was Dan Noblock that got the spare. Up now is Janelle Wood for the Eagles. Millers averaging a 141.4 so far in the young conference season. The Eagles, a 165.8, and they get a break there. Double Wood leave for an 8 count, and that was Charles.
Basically, for those watching, Tony, what can you tell me more or less about the leagues and some of the history of it, how it got going here?
As far as history and how it got going is concerned, I'm not very, what you would call, up to date on it. What I can tell you is Washburn's had a intramural program for 6 years now. I've been advising the program or co-advising the program for those 6 years. It's an open bowling participation on practice days for Wednesday for all students. They can come down, get some free bowling, and we take 8 to 10 bowlers from that practice or that open bowling with us on a competition on a Friday. For the past 5 years, we've been finishing 7th or 6th in the league.
So for the up-and-coming bowlers watching right now, is there an entry fee to come in at this, like with other sports?
This is completely free, which is what's been described by the Board of Education people in the athletic office as a true intramural sport, true intramural activity. Some of the other intramural activities at Washburn and some of the other schools is open gym. Well, this one you got a competition and something actually happening rather than just showing up.
Okay. And was it any other academic sports? The academics of your knowledge has to be up to par. You should have all of your studies in line. You should be making it to every class. Pretty outstanding in your field.
What the bowling coordinators and the Bowling Proprietors Association is asking is that they meet school requirements for passing, minimum school requirements. And right now in Minneapolis, it's a 2.0, although for bowling we have not adopted a 2.0 yet. I'm just asking all the kids to attend classes and get passing grades. Next year we'll worry about the grade point average and things like that.
So narrowing it down, there is a possibility of pulling a scholarship out of bowling.
Yes, there is.
The
University of Minnesota has had a couple of bowlers out of this league participate on their squad.
It's wonderful.
The Kennedy Eagles, the gentleman that got the strike was Tim Brown. He moved from 3rd frame to 4th frame. They have a 58 with the markup. So Charles.
He pulled that out beautifully, 1 pin standing.
Charles got a gutter ball and then a 9 count. So the Millers have 45 with the open. And up next in the 5th frame is Jeff Gilmore for the Millers. They're down by at least 13, could be 23. Gilmore with that slow delivery, gets a little high, lucky not to get a split.
Should be no problem with the spare out of that.
He's good on that right side. The left side, he's got some minor problems with. Up for Kennedy is Jason Barnes. He hits it high, and he's lucky not to get the split. He leaves the 6-pin. Gilmore going for the 6-10. And he'll take
right
that
on
out.
the money.
The basics of bowling that I try to teach the kids is there's 3 pins you want to work on. You want to work on the 1 pin, the 4 pin, and the 6 pin. If you can get those 3 pins on either side, you should be able to get any pin that's out there. Just relate it to one of those 3 pins.
And the rest should come easy.
It should all come easy, but it's not as easy as it looks.
Tell me about it. Definitely seeing that here today.
Jason got his spare. So 55 spare up, 78 spare up. 78 for the Eagles. And up now is Dan Noblock.
Looks like a good delivery.
This is also high,
On the money with the
but
strike.
not high enough. Right in the pocket. Nice slow delivery to get that high count. And Stacy gets hers. Stacy Patopoulos for the Millers. A couple of strikes up, but the Millers are still down by 23. 98-75. Charles Haslett. Hope I pronounced that correctly. This time he gets a nice ball. Doubles up for the Millers.
Outstanding display of teammanship there, too.
It's Janelle Wood for the Eagles. And she doubles up on the left side. And you can tell that the competition is building, this being the first place of the conference.
Definitely. This is winner take all. This is it.
It's only the first half of the season, too. These two teams will match up again on the 9th of November. That'll be at Southtown Lanes. You want to come out and see the competition. For our viewers, the Kennedy Eagles, first frame bowler third frame, Chris Anderson gets a 8 count, and the Millers get the 7 count out of Jay Miller. Next time you can see these bowlers will be next Friday, the 26th, at Diamond Lake Lanes on 59th and Nicollet. We'll give you the matchups between matches here. Our next match will be South and Roosevelt. For our viewers in Bloomington, you will not see that matchup. You'll only see the Kennedy matchup, courtesy of the Bloomington Educational Cable. And Chris misses his spare. And John misses his. Jay Miller, I'm sorry. So the Millers, 102. The Eagles, 144. 2 frames to go. And the Millers need 2 things. 1, they need a strike. 2, the Eagles to open. Any mark here by the Eagles, pretty much seal it. Corey with the Brooklyn hit. 8 count.
We'll probably pull it off with the spare being.
I'm sorry, the Millers only had a 120, not a 102, as I described earlier. So they're only down by 24.
Kennedy leading 44.
9 count for the Eagles. And Tim Brown was up.
I told you, I knew that would happen.
A lot of confidence in Corey.
Got a lot of confidence in Corey. The kid looks good. A lot of professionalism, a good attitude, and that's what's needed.
And the Eagles get the one thing they don't need, and that's an open. Now up for the Eagles is Jason Barnes. Apparently I have a bad connection, so once in a while I'm going to be cutting out. Jason, little weak on the hit, gets a 7 count. 1-2-8. Jeff Gilmore, high, pulls a 7. 3-6-10 pin. 153, 137. If the Eagles miss this, they still sealed it. 160, Millers can't beat them.
I don't think he's going to miss this.
So the Eagles win game number 3. They're up 2-1. Best of 5. Final count yet to be determined. Gilmore tries to pick up his spare, and he opens. Millers will finish up with a 146. Still above their average. And the Eagles have finally thrown their average. The Eagles finish with a 173. We'll be back with game number 4 right after this break, Sam.
See you there.
There are children dying, 40,000 every day, but you're sitting on the fat of the land. When a water pump carried for 1,000 miles is the best kind of helping hand. You can bring the water to the people. You can help them, you can give it, you can try. You can fly on the wings of mercy. Don't you know these cards save lives? You can bring a friend to UNICEF card today. You can save the life of a child. And the world will sing for the life you save. UNICEF, these cards save lives.
Up is Dan Noblock for the Eagles, and he right away gets a split, and that's not something the Eagles need after a high 173 count. And the Millers didn't need a 6 count either, so it kind of balanced out there. Corey Thomas is the starting defensive center for the Millers, the 4th frame right now for the Millers. And he has not bowled all season. We brought him in away from the football game for this match.
And that's definitely dedication. Maybe we've got a triathlete here.
Dan gets 2, which is what you want. Let's see if Stacy can cover hers. And she ends up with a 9 count. So after the first frame, we're tied up at 9s. Both opens. Now up is Charles Hayslett for the Millers.
Charles very confident with the lineup here. Delivers.
Hit a Brooklyn. Just a little slow on the ball. His mark was fine, though. For Kennedy, Chris Anderson gets a strike. And that's a change. They moved Janelle Wood to 3rd frame and put Chris Anderson in the 2nd. Charles, no. Charles missed his open.
Pardon
Missed his 2
technical
pins.
difficulties.
I'm probably... We've changed headsets. Now maybe we can get this to work right. Okay, here we go. Janelle Wood. Lefty 7 count. A little low on the hit. And a little high on the hit, but still gets a nice count is Jay Miller. No experience for you to be on mic, isn't it?
It certainly is. It certainly is.
Those of you that are not familiar with Sam Riley can see him on the PWA cards once in a while as King Tut.
Yes, coming to you on Saturday night ringside with Mick Karch. And I also want to say hello, Eddie Sharkey, wherever you are.
Both 3rd frames getting open, so the Millers have a 26, Kennedy Eagles 37, 11 pins up. And the Kennedy Eagles get this game, the match is over. Millers need this to tie.
With the excitement I'm finding here, the sport's right up there with wrestling and needs to be designated as the sport.
Corey almost puts that in the gutter, pulls it out the last second, and he knows it.
Corey's the main man. Corey's been making it happen here quite a bit.
We'll get you another mic between games. How's that? In the front passenger seat, we'll get another headset. Maybe the adapter kit, we'll get you set up.
Stand
Slightly. For the Eagles, in the fourth frame, Tim Brown left a 2-pin. See if we can get his spare. That strike was big for the Millers. And Brown gets his. Put it on. We'll live with the technical difficulties for this game and then straighten them out next game. How's that? Up now is Jason Barnes for the Eagles, fifth frame. He'll be high. Brooklyn gets it. Can you hear us?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
There, I'm coming in now.
Jeff Gilmore gets a 9 count. That's a double that the Millers desperately needed. Okay.
Pulls that out of the bag there with no problem.
And Gilmore picks up his spare. So the Millers are still down by 11 pins, 67 to 56. And up is Dan Noblock for the sixth frame for the Eagles.
A couple of strikes could totally turn this around.
Yeah, it could. Stacy.
Here's what I'm looking for.
That's a 6
Up
count.
to Stacy.
Stacy Patopoulos gets a nice 9 count where it should have been a split. She knows it. Look back at me.
10-pin standing.
Dan's going to try and pick up the 2, 4, 5, 7. That's the left side. Kind of a baby strike.
Young man from Kennedy looks confident, looking right down the eye. A lot of professionalism here. And pulls it up. No problem with the spare.
And
Stacy's
Stacy,
going for the spare. She got it.
she's got a kind of a straight ball with a twist to it, so to speak. Millers find themselves down now by 12 pins because they had the spare to the Eagles strike. And in now is Russ Blome, I hope. B-L-O-M-E.
Blom.
And he gets an 8 count. So that gives the Eagles a 95 in this 6th frame. And Charles gets a nice strike for us in the 7th frame, being the Millers. So that gets us a couple of pins back.
And we're tied here.
Yeah. Shouldn't be. No, we're down by 10 pins. That's because they haven't counted that yet. So with that 8 count, Eagles have a 103. Millers have a 95 plus their next 2 balls. So the Millers have a chance to go ahead by 2 pins here in the 8th frame.
Let's see if it happens.
Jay Miller.
Miller for the Millers.
Yeah. This will be a little high, but looks good. That's big for Washburn. Kennedy needs to counter here in the 8th frame with a nice strike. Up is Janelle Wood. The lefty.
Right ahead. Kennedy now trailing. We pull it off.
Yeah, that's right. Kennedy would be down by 12 pins if the Millers were to continue. There's a 9 count. She got tapped. That was a good ball. Good ball all the way.
Definitely not that strike that was needed.
I need a male quarter or a male XLR to a 1/4 inch. We also need to bring mic number 5 up.
shop talk for those of you not behind the lines.
Another open for the Eagles, and the Millers are starting to look very confident they can pull up game 4. Yesterday, we had a chance to scrimmage against Ridgefield, get some competition in on an off practice day because they moved this match on us. And we threw a high 201. And the 4th frame, Tim Brown for the Eagles gets a 9 count on a light hit.
I would have really liked to have saw that. During the scrimmages, is there as much professionalism at that time as you see now?
With Ridgefield, for us, it's more fun and games, and we get a turkey for the Millers. Nice hit by Corey Thomas.
Corey's not disappointing us at all. Young man from Kennedy looking confident now. He's on the money.
Shaking to the left, but he still gets it as he drops his shoulder is Tim Brown. Millers 145, 3 strikes. Scoreboard shows 85 in the 6th because they don't count the strikes until an open. But Jeff Gilmore, all he needs is 5 pins to guarantee a win for the Millers.
And I see a strike possibly coming.
Nice and slow, perfect in the pocket. 4 in a row for the Millers. This is the confidence that they need going into game 5. Millers losing game 1, 115 to 94. Picking up game 2, 169 to 133. Losing game 4, 173 to
Kennedy
146.
up with a strike.
Jason Barnes with that strike for the Eagles. 173 to 146. The Eagles won game 3. This is game 4. The Millers have won this. The count is all that matters at this time. Gilmore was off. Weak hit, still pulls a 9 count.
Kennedy trailing.
Look at them numbers add up for the Millers. They got a potential 194.
Millers have definitely made a comeback here and now bypassed and leaving Kennedy trailing at 142.
Kennedy 132 plus a strike right now, which makes the 142. They have a potential 162. Now the potential's gone down to 152.
It's up to this young man to pull this spare.
Jeff Gilmore will choke on it,
just
so to speak, just wide right. Still, the Millers end up with a 193. And that's confidence going into game 5. And the Eagles will not get their spare as well, but they end up with a 151. We'll be back with the deciding game to determine the conference leader at the halfway point of the season. You're watching Minneapolis Television Network Sports, also Bloomington Educational Cable. We'll be right back.
Commentator, how do I sound? Terrible?
You sound all right. Stacy Fotopoulos getting off right away for the Millers in frame number 1. Gets a split on a 5-7.
Stacy's going to need the spare to pull it out here. Just shy. But as I watch this appears to be a sport where everyone goes away a winner. The camaraderie and the teammanship is what makes it happen. Everybody here seems to be a winner.
Up now for the Eagles is Dan Noblock once again. He's a little high, but he gets his strike anyway. Stacy missed her split. End up with a 9 count. The Eagles start off on the right foot. Ball in the second frame is Brian Anderson. one rule that we've been really steadfast on for the Millers. Actually, there's 3 of them. One, if you're going to eat, you're going to eat with your left hand, not to disturb your bowling hand, so
Can't
to speak.
hurt that. Oh, no.
2, anyone smoking within 4 lanes of what we're doing, we ask them not to, because this is supposed to be a drug-free, smoke-free environment for the kids.
Exactly.
And 3, the right side always goes first. That's one of the rules in the book, and we insist upon the right side going first. If somebody goes out of line, we'll either take the 0, we'll insist that the other team takes the 0. And Brian misses his split. So the Eagles end up with a 28, and the Millers get a second open in a row, and they have a 17 count. 28-17, Millers down by 11 already. But opens are up. This is Jason Miller.
Mr. Miller for the Millers. Looks confident.
Jay Miller, I'm sorry. Birth certificate says John, nickname's Jay.
Wow.
That's a weak hit. Still pulls an 8 count. Kicks out that 4 pin. Leaves it 2-5. For the Eagles, Janelle Wood. Lefty leaves a 5 pin. I think she came in just a little too hard on that, that's all.
We're coming to you from Nokomis Lanes MTN Networks.
And John misses his spare. 3 opens in a row for the Millers on a must-win game.
For those watching or just now tune this in that are bowling enthusiasts, how do you get your kid going in this? What do you need to do?
Need to find out when your school is practicing. South, Roosevelt, and Washburn participate in the South Metro Leagues. I'm not aware of a Southwest team, and I'm not aware of a Northside team. So the Millers are down now by 12 pins, I believe.
I'd better call my alma mater and get something going over at North High there.
Nice
Wonderful
bang strike for Tim Brown.
Sounded like thunder out there. Sounded like
Yeah, it was. Thunder, as you said. We're having a problem with your headset again.
We're losing it.
And Corey Thomas gets tapped on a 7 pin.
Check.
Okay, we're still waiting on that adapter for you. That will make your mic work. Bingo. And he pulls another open. So the Millers with 4 opens in a row. Count of 34. Kennedy Eagles have a count of 37 plus a strike in the 4th. Let's see if Jeff Gilmore can get it going for the Millers. Slow ball. This will be high. Still gets an 8 count. He knew it. Tried to pull that ball over, walking away. This is Jason Barnes. And he gets a weak hit. And that's a split that the Eagles did not want to see. The Millers enjoy looking at right now. 2-4-10 for Jason. Jeff Gilmore, a little slow, still pulls off the 3-6. First mark for the Millers in the 5th frame. For the Eagles, this is Jason Barnes as he tries to pick up a 2-4-10. This he need a really high Brooklyn or low Brooklyn hit. And pulls out the 4 pin. So 34 plus a spare up for the Millers, so that gives them basically a 53 or 54 if you're counting. And the Eagles with a 63, so the Millers could be down by as little as 9, depending on Stacy's first ball. But first up for the Eagles is Dan Noblock. We got yours coming, so we'll work on it. This will be a high hit, and another split for the Eagles, and the Millers' luck has changed. So is the Eagles' luck, for that matter. Stacy comes back on a kickback, left a 5-4-7, ends up with a strike. So the Millers have found a way to pull ahead in this match, even though they opened up with 4 straight opens. Eagles going for the pickup, only picks up 1. Eagles with a 71, the Millers with a 54 plus a strike.
right.
And up now is Charles Haslett. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I should mention, coach for the Millers is Amy Kolar. I'm the advisor, Tony Gear. This is a Brooklyn 7 count. I'm personally excited about this team. I have a personal interest in it.
I know that.
Brian Anderson for the Eagles, hits it low, gets a 7 count. And Charles picks up his. Let's see how the Eagles can do Brian Anderson as I work on Sam's mic. Okay, we'll bring up mic number 2 and see if it works. Sounds like it's going to work.
Sound check on 2, sound check on 2.
And it's the input, so we're going to change that a little later. Eagles pick up their spare. So Miller's up by 3. Basically 84 to 81. We're going to work on your mic between matches here. We're going to continue as we go here.
I hear you, Tony.
Your mic is cutting out. We're going to change you to input number 6. Eagles. That was Janelle Wood. It's a 9 count. For the Millers, this is Jay Miller. Very consistent bowler for us. Normally would bowl a 5th frame, but 2 of our bowlers, this is their house. Millers get a strike from Jay Miller. Janelle Wood attempts to pick up spare, and she gets it. So you're back on mic number 5. You can still hear us on your headset.
Perfect.
Super.
Where there's a will, there's a way, and there's my main man, Corey, up there again. Not to be disappointed.
We'll turn that level down on number 3. I'm sorry, number 3 in just a second.
Yes, no doubt about it. I tell you,
I've
Tony.
turned you into a Miller fan.
Yes, indeed.
Corey Thomas gets a double for the Millers, and this is big for Washburn. We'll bring down mic number 5. It's a little loud. Nice count for the Eagles, though, and that is Tim Brown.
I think I'll sign Corey, make a wrestler out of him.
He's got the build.
He's got the winning edge and the right mentality to do it.
We'll put him up against the Lightning Kid.
Squish the squid. Moving right along.
Skid. Squish the squid.
Squish the squid. Squish squid.
And the Eagles pick up their spare, but they're going to need a lot more than that as we go into the 10th frame. And their 5th frame bowler is Jason Barnes. Jeff Gilmore, knowing the rules, will let Jason throw his ball first. Washburn a 124. Kennedy a 119. Washburn 2 strikes. Brooklyn hit, leaves a 9 count, leaves a 3 pin. Jeff Gilmore, he just needs to bury this, and does so. And the Millers have tied the Eagles for first place at 6-1 records.
Young man from Kennedy now, he does need the spare to pull it out. He gets it.
Why don't you give up your headset and your mic for the coach? I guess not.
We have no comment from the coach. Wise men always listen and say very little.
Jason gets a
wise
strike to finish out for the Eagles. Jeff Gilmore has an 8 double wood count. Eagles with a 148 on their last game.
And that's a wonderful part of sportsmanship. He didn't want to come over here and brag. He just wants to win. He's going to keep a cool head about it. We'll talk to him and go to live when it's over. I'm sure we'll be able to get an interview. I'll have a lot to say. But now is not the
171
time.
for the Millers. So the Washburn Millers now have a 6-1 record in the conference. The Eagles 6-1. Washburn wins this 3-2. The score is 115-94 for Kennedy, 169-133 Millers, 173-146 Eagles, 193-151 Millers, and in the final deciding game, 171-148 for the Millers. We'll be back on the Minneapolis Television Network with South and Roosevelt. And those of you in Bloomington, thanks for watching.
Stand by.
Lynette, let me show you this move I used to use back in the Boston Garden.
That was nice, John. But let me show you how we did it in the Olympics.
Okay.
Or maybe this. Whew. If you're interested in getting involved in a basketball league in your area, call your local park and recreation department or call the American Basketball Council.
Call today. You'll love it.